How do you go from that intention and, some, obviously very front foot work, getting involved with the schools, publishers, corporates, how do you get other people behind you and then allow them to make this then their full-time work and then build it from just being you and getting bagels from Morning Lane to actually, okay, we've got 10 of us now, 20 of us. What's that journey like, and how did you go about getting those allies and people to join the charity?
That's a really good question. I think it's the hardest thing, the organisation side, because the model that I chose was setting up a charity, because I thought, right, okay, I have to be a transparent entity, but what I am is a trader. I'm a business person. I'm an entrepreneur. And so I didn't want to let go of having a social enterprise side as well. Yeah. So I built a program called Magic Outcomes that got people to do essentially a community MBA, coming into schools to deliver and learn about diverse audiences and learn about communication skills. But with the charity itself, we had no paid workers for 8 years. Yeah. And it was entirely on volunteer group. I grabbed hold of anyone. And all I said was, these kids are going to school hungry. We have to get these kids fed. So what are we going to do? And so my publisher said, right, okay, well, we'll put the profits of the book towards that. Okay, we'll contribute that. Great. Okay, that's some money. It was costing me about $2,000 a year to open up a breakfast club at that point. It's now close to $5,000 a year. And that was feeding about a third of the children in every class. Yes. And it was making sure it was done without stigma, and the hardest part was getting the structure right. It's like, okay, there has to be a good end-to-end process. I have to understand that child in that school is having a good experience. It's not horrible. It's a breakfast that's delicious and it's served in the way that they enjoy it. So that's my customer, that child getting that breakfast. So what are the key points before that? Well, I have to get it from people that care. I have to make sure it's delivered well. I have to make sure that we're measuring it so it actually arrives on time. So what's the structure of people that I need to deliver that supply chain? Yeah. And I'm really very sad, interested in end-to-end data logistics. Yeah. That would be my role. My master's in data protocols, and so looking at the end-to-end from that person there to that person there. Is it going to go through voice over IP? Is it going to go through, what are the channels that data gets to market? If you're an entrepreneur, you start with solving the problem, right? There is a real gap here, there's a real problem. There's the solution. That's the best guess I've got at the solution, having talked to a lot of great people. And the children themselves, it's so child-centric because what should we call this charity? Well, miss, when I have a bagel in the morning, I feel really awake and it's like magic. Yeah. All right, should we call it Magic Breakfast? Yeah, that's my name. That's what I did that for you, miss. Yep. And never forget that wee boy. He was such a cub. He was such a great. I know, exactly. Children designed that, and they're like, okay, so how should we get this to you? Who do you want to be giving the breakfast to? I want the dinner ladies to be doing it. Okay, well, they're not only in at lunchtime. Well, can they come in early? Okay, yeah, all right. So we sorted all sorts of things out that would make it a really great experience for the children. That process and creating that sort of end-to-end supply chain that worked needed a certain organisation, and it was volunteer-led. I was driving the car around on Saturday morning dropping off this food, but once I got to 25 schools, I just couldn't do it. So I kind of, okay, let's do Sainsbury Home Delivery. Fine, let's do that. Then it was like, well, we're not sure that that's going to work long term, because what we want to do is someone who's friendly to talk about the fact that these are for the children, blah, blah. Okay, we got the vans from Quaker Oats. Then we got Tropicana from, they had separate fleet of vans, so we got them. So the organisation comes from the solution being delivered and your understanding of the problem. Yes. You build the people who care about it and have got the skills to do it. Now, I had to get that from a volunteer pool. So this is, again, take action in line with your values. Who cares about this? Was the big question. Who cares about this and will help me, because I'm going to screw up if I try and do it myself?